turn it into a low-scoring game. If you're an underdog on the road, that's what you want to do. You want to come in, you want to shorten the game. And again, we allowed them to do that by extending drives with penalties more often than not foolish. That's something that we'll make sure that we address into the bye week, because obviously we know going forward into ACC play, that's not winning football. It's not part of who we are, not part of our plan to win. With that, I'll open up for questions.
Coach, obviously the rushing game seemed to struggle a bit. How do you kind of turn your focus to that going into the bye week?
Well, to me, it's just get back to fundamentals. Understanding who you are. What runs were there, and what did we miss, and where did the breakdown occur? And part of that is just evaluating our run game in general, which we thought was really showing a lot of good signs. And today, I don't think we ran the ball very well, and not just in terms of our stats, but just in terms of the way we hit things and the way we block things up. Obviously, it was substandard. So just get back to basics, get back to getting the football team better.
Coach, what do you attribute
Two
to
questions, if you don't mind. One, how
I'll go get you.
how frustrated, 4 penalties in a span of 6 plays in that goal line, just how your level of madness, I guess, over that. And secondly, did you get any indication on a DJ, if that's a serious thing, I guess, next week again?
DJ.
Dallas.
No, I've not heard one way or the other on DJ, and yeah, the penalty, because it should have been, it was a heroic goal line stand that was only aided by our, lining up all sides. They run a very tough play, the old tight end throwback on Pickney, and, that one was his hand in there? They said it was, so it's a great effort that's ruined by penalty. Trajan, again, on the flex pass, turns his head around, to find the ball, and, and gets whistles for that, so, but that's all part of playing clean. The rules of the game are the rules of the game. It's our responsibility to play better, to not put ourselves in a situation where you give somebody, I don't know how many snaps they had down there inside the 2-yard line, but there's too many guys fighting and doing what you want to let them just have 3 downs. So that's what we gave. In a baseball analogy, the whole game was we gave them more than 3 outs. Our errors, they played very hard. Central Michigan, again, their quarterback is a dude. That guy can play. Made a lot of tough throws into tight windows, but again, when you're playing baseball, you got to get somebody out and give them 4 or 5 outs an inning. It's hard to keep us. It's a tribute to the fact they only scored 12 or whatever they scored. Yes.
Manny, last time you had 2 weeks off, I guess after your first game.
Right.
They came back a little, I don't know how beneficial it was to have all that time. Is this a 2 weeks that you really need now, or what do you think about the long time you have now?
I think it is what it is. We have to take a week off. I think the difference between between North Carolina is you only played 1 game. So you had a lot of guys that have only been in 1 game, so that week 1 to week 2 correction, I thought we probably lagged behind on that. I think the scenario is a little bit different right now. This is going to behave a little bit more like a true bye. Obviously, defensively, taking 78 snaps. There's some guys, I don't know if Shaq and Pickney came out for a play, so that's a lot on their body. So I'm sure there'll be some guys that'll welcome the bye. Obviously, we need to practice. We need to keep playing. And part of that, we got some guys. Again, we start talking about the freshman on the offense. Jared needs to play. Obviously he's doing a really nice job, but the more he plays, the better he's going to be, like all of our guys.
Man, you talk about the blitz packages that were such a big factor in the game tonight. Every time you guys got in trouble, I guess Blake and yourself were able to dial up blitzes that were effective and stop their drives.
Well, whether it was coming, whether it was pressure or not pressure, I thought we were okay getting after the quarterback tonight, to be honest. I still think that we're not as good as we're going to be rushing the passer as the year goes on. It's still great to see guys like Greg Rousseau continue to make big plays. We did make some timely sacks in terms of where the ball was on the field, where they kind of knocked it over midfield, and we kind of knocked them out of field goal range and some things like that. So, that's a big part of who we are, is creating negative plays. It felt like on the run game, we did a good job with that. And again, when I look at, obviously we struggled to run the football for 27 for 31 for them. Again, is where it all starts defensively, and I think that's again why they've got a 12 next to their name.
Manny, the mid-game O-line alterations, Ja'Kai going out, was he also injured, or getting John Campbell in and DJ Scaife at right guard, was that just?
No, we're moving some guys around. Campbell got to play some tackle as well, and part of it was sometimes you got to take a young player and just bring him to the sideline and say, now watch what's going on out there, because again, sometimes it just gets a little quick, and this all goes back to our preparation. And the players know that, our Wednesday practice this week was probably as poor of a Wednesday practice we've had throughout the course of the year. And they wonder, does that matter? And then you watch us play tonight, and it matters, and especially with younger players. And look, it doesn't matter that they're young. If they're Miami Hurricanes, they gotta go play. But Coach, do I gotta do this every week? Yeah, every week. Do I gotta prepare like this every week? Yes, every week. And that's the understanding of what it means to be a big-time guy, week in, week out, and not a guy that plays good for a couple games, doesn't play well. And some of the signs of that, you know, you can see on Wednesday. That's part of the maturation process. We obviously have some guys that gotta go through.
Manny, Headley has to change the field, that situation with 50 seconds left, or maybe the end of one, they said 56, and he said 59, whatever
Yeah.
it was. Is that too much to get one block, really?
Well, right, and again, a penalty that had the ball at the 1 yard line. I mean, that's almost a 40-yard penalty. It won't say 40 yards there, but that was almost a 40-yard penalty between down the ball at the 1, which you got another great job by Louis on that. The one that got blocked, Louis just held on to it too long. You know, to be honest, just part of just learning, you know, the pace of the game and how much time you actually have. But to turn the field around in that mentality like that, and you can't talk about that play. Shaq Quarterman took 78 snaps. A very physical football game. And you see that guy, that returner is a great returner, 88 now, that guy can play. And to have Shaq Quarterman running 65-yard sprint on that down to go make that play that's who Shaq Quarterman is. It's maybe one of his best plays since coming to Miami.
Manny, you talked about physical toughness, how that is what you want this identity to be, especially on offense, being able to pound the ball. Did you guys take a step back on that side, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, off the evidence of what we just saw, you know, I'd say physically, we did not dominate this opponent, right, which is what our goal and which our standard is. So, now again, what you do is you pop the film on him, and the thing that you have to be very cognizant of is when we say we, that doesn't mean that everybody didn't dominate their opponent. You know, there may have been a guy here, a guy there, and what happens more often than not, the guy changes. One guy on this play gets beat, one guy on that play gets beat, you know, that type of thing. But all of that makes it substandard. So again, we'll have to get back to, you know, our identity in terms of playing with toughness. Now, from the mental toughness standpoint, you know, a game like this where instantly style points came out of play, and it was all about how do we manage the situation and how do we come out here with a win. Because the only thing we could do today, again, was win the football game, which mission accomplished. There's 100 things that we have to fix, but I'd rather fix them all after a win than after a loss.
Let's do 2 more questions for Coach.
Maybe 4 games into the season, just, you know, getting ready to go to the bye, how would you just assess where this team is at this point in the season?
Well, I think what you see is you're seeing a team that's learning how to win football games. You know, it's understanding the structure of how from the beginning, from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, offense, defense, special teams, in terms of how do we win a game, you know, and what loses. And I think what we found out today are things that you can do that help you lose, that can get you beat. And, again, just, you can't talk about it without going right to the penalties, you know. And those things can deny an otherwise great effort. Defensively, you look at what their total yards were even at halftime, but we were never off the field because of our penalties. Those were things that were getting in the way. We just, you know, hitting a guy after a play, things that are very out of character for us, and obviously will be addressed in practice. So, but you know what? That all matters. So what a team is learning when you're trying to rebrand and you're trying to find out how to win football games, you're finding out that everything matters, all those things matters, and all those little selfish type plays ultimately hurt the whole football team.
Thanks, everybody.
So what you guys think? Any questions you want us to ask? What would you ask if you was in there? What would you ask me? I wonder if they knew they were going to have trouble blocking. Hold on, got whipped. Still trying to understand that one. If you're watching, hit the like button for us. Yes, those long developing plays don't help us at all. That's been since game one. We haven't changed it. Carlos, I agree. I took another model this year, Carlos. I'm no longer blaming kids on any level. It's the adults. That's my motto in 2019.
It's not good to see what a team like Virginia
But every game's
You're so welcome on that play.
Thank you, man.
Watch this.
Perfect time.
That was perfect time.
What they say
Looking
means
man.
everything.
Mike, I'm not sure if that's Jerry holding the ball long or waiting for the play to develop. Yeah, there's no reason to hold the ball if you're a quarterback unless you want to get hit. You still didn't throw an interception, huh? You still haven't thrown an interception?
No, there were a couple passes that could have been today.
Okay, we got big man Brevin. Love Brevin Jordan. Brevin's finna be a riot. Watch. Brevin always lit. Watch it.
Brother, on the first drive, it looked like this is gonna be a really fun day at the office, and then it all changed. What happened between?
It was just, I mean, first drive we was trying to score. We didn't plan for the first and second half to go. You know what I'm saying? Like we was just trying to score, and it happened to turn out the way it did. We didn't play the best performance on offense.
What went wrong after the first drive?
Nothing. You know, we were just really hurting ourselves. I think that was the main thing. It was missing blocks or not getting blocks, little stuff like that. We just got to execute better.
In the run blocking specifically, tight end being involved in it, what was going on there?
Same thing. I mean, just missing blocks, not going to the right guy, missing assignments, little stuff like that. But we're gonna clean it up. We're gonna be better.
Brevin, the offense kind of had some kind of holding penalties there that looked around big plays.
Yeah.
How do you guys kind of go into this bye week, kind of focusing and trying to fix that?
I had one too. I mean, so it's really just, you know, just cleaning up the little things. That's really the big thing. Just cleaning up the little things. Because I had one too. There was probably like 2 or 3. I mean, we're gonna go into this bye week. We're gonna be professional about it. We're gonna try to perfect our craft and gonna try to be Virginia Tech.
Brevin, how would you just assess the mood of the offense? Is it frustration, disappointment, happy? I mean, how would you
Not
just?
at all. Not at all. I mean, we know this is a work in progress. We know as a team we're still working to be the team that set the standard we want to be at. But I mean, there's no frustration. We know we're young. We know we're talented, and we're just gonna keep going.
Brother, do you feel like the bye comes at a good time to do that cleanup that you're talking
I
about?
mean, I want to play next week. We play Virginia Tech. We're trying to get active. But I mean, the bye week would be good for us. We get a little bit of rest. Try to perfect our craft a little bit more.
Brevin, you guys are 1 or 10 on third down. What can you guys do on third down just to kind of be more efficient, just as an offensive goal?
Same thing. Just clean it up. No air assignments. Just same thing. Just playing clean. Trying to perfect ourselves as an offense. So when you're not playing clean, you see it. I know the whole stadium saw it. When you don't play clean, you're not going to be efficient. And so once we just clean up the little things, I mean, we're going to be a pretty good, damn good offense.
Brevin, you had 3 catches for 70 yards. How are you feeling? Are you proud of yourself?
I'm very proud of
Yeah?
myself. You know, I definitely could have did better. There was a stick ride I ran, and the guy batted down. That was completely on my fault. I should have went vertical and stick it out. But I mean, I definitely could have did better. But I'm happy with it.
Brevin, Jaron took some big hits obviously there today. The toughness maybe that he showed, and I guess, could you tell he was in pain at all from those?
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Jaren, he's what's the word? He's a very competitive guy. You know, I've seen his toughness since day one. The first game against Florida when he took 10 sacks. And not one time did he complain. Not one time did he have a bad face on him. He just always keeps going. He's always like, "Let's go, guys. You know, just give me a little bit more time." He's never, negative. So that's just Jaren's personality, man. We love Jaren as a team.
Will Mallory coming up real
Couple
big
more
on that
questions.
first drive, just, seeing that from him.
Well, Mallory's my dog. Y'all know that. Y'all, I think you didn't know that. I told him, because we knew what the first play was from this morning's walkthrough, and I told him, I said, if you don't score, I'm going to slap your back very hard. I told him, I said, if you don't score, I'm going to be disappointed in you. And I mean, I wasn't disappointed in him, but I was happy for him. But Will's a beast, man. And we're slowly unleashing him more and more, and I'm just excited for us.
Everyone knows that Henry's got, quite a play guy.
Louis?
Yeah, for him to come up with one that big,
Late
in
hand.
that situation, just what's that say about what he brings to the school?
Louis built like a linebacker. He's pretty healthy. He's like 6'3", 240. I mean, he's healthy. So, and he squats a ton. So when he's going to go time. It's Louis.
Awesome. Thank you, brother.
Hey, appreciate it. Y'all be good now. Follow me on IG, Brevin Jordan 9. Let's go.
Follow Brevin on IG, Brevin Jordan 9.
All right, guys, we'll go right into questions for senior Shaq Quarterman.
Shaq, Brevin seemed pretty confident on how you guys are going to bounce back through the bye week in order to get ready for ACC play. How do you feel about that? Are you confident as well in your team and that resiliency?
I feel the same exact way. When the bye week comes, time to heal, as well as time to, really get to the next opponent. And the fact that our next opponent is ACC play, you got to take advantage of it. Last year I don't think we had the same opportunity. So with the one we have coming up, I definitely agree 100%. We have to put in the work, we have to put in that work. This week and next week, that's all we're gonna do. That's all we're gonna focus on.
Shaq, that goal line stand that would never end because of all the flags, how frustrating were those several moments?
It's the name of the game, you just gotta put the play behind you. We call it having amnesia. You have a good play, you still gotta forget about it. They about to snap the ball. You have a bad play, you still gotta forget about it. They about to snap the ball. So, regardless of it being aggravated and redundant, we just line it up every play that we could, until we couldn't anymore.
Shaq, how do you guys view this performance as a defense?
We definitely left a couple plays out there, in my opinion. We come into every game wanting to do awesome. Stop and run is our favorite thing to do. It's the first thing above anything else. And then what comes with that, when you stop the run, you're able to get after the passer. In regards to that, I feel like we did an okay job, but we can't be complacent. We can't really be happy with this win. It's a win nonetheless, but it's just so many things we have to get corrected.
Jack, the third down defense was an issue, particularly in the first half. Just what do you feel like was kind of going wrong in some of those situations with them picking up some of those?
I think it just boils down to communication. When we communicate, when our defense communicates, and we're all on the same page, then we're a very good defense. And early in the game, it might have been the crowd, because our fans are amazing. It might have been who knows what, but we just weren't communicating. We're all on the same plane, for the first time.
Are there any areas specifically in pass coverage that you guys think you can improve on going into conference play?
Yeah, I think, it's all about communication. Once we can pass a call down the line and check, because a lot of offense, to get us off our game, they like emotion. So emotion becomes emotion, but we don't want the emotion part. So we got to be able to, understand the checks and get in and out of them. That's what as well as the offense does. When we do that, and stop the run, stop the pass, it's gonna be a good one for us.
What is your quarterback showing you as far as his ability to take hit after hit after hit sometimes?
Resilience, to say the least. I think he does a great job with it. I think he does a great job with a lot of the stuff he has to deal with as a quarterback. I've been here 4 years, and in my 4 years, I've seen a couple of quarterbacks. And I feel like every quarterback has endured and done a great job taking, the responsibility at quarterback. And I think he's following suit very well. When he does what he does, what he wants to do. You know, he plays well, offense plays through him, and on the times that, you know, he make it sack, make it hit, he always pops up. And his offensive line is still the pick him up, so is the backs, the tight ends. I think he's doing an awesome job, and we're gonna continue to play with him.
Couple more questions for Shaq. Because Shaq, obviously, defense leaves some plays up there, a couple dropped interceptions, kind of big plays allowed, third downs. Do you guys think that's a concern heading into the bye week?
Oh, there's always corrections, and that definitely will be corrected. You know, we really pride ourselves on our third down package, our third down defense. So the fact that we gave up a lot of, we had a lot of missed opportunities definitely will be, you know, on the forefront of things for us to fix going into this week and next week.
Great. Thank you, Shaq.
Virginia down 17, should have been in. Killed the Virginia schools. Rivalry.
All right, guys, we'll go to questions for redshirt freshman Greg Russo.
What was it like having your first turnover chain moment coming through, big strip sack?
It was really cool. It was really a blessing. You know, all the hard work I put in after like being hurt last year. I'm just so grateful. And I'm just really blessed.
You tell us about that play and just what happened for you.
Yeah, we were in the third down package, and then I got a one-on-one with a guard, and I just used a rip, and I just won. And I saw the quarterback was about to throw it, so I was like, man, I might not get him, so let me just throw my hand out there. So I just put my hand up there, and then he fumbled.
Greg, I know you guys got the win, but is there a sense at all of we didn't play our best in this game?
I feel like, there's always that. Like, when you win, when you lose, you could always do better. And we're just gonna take this bye week and just keep on working hard and just get better every single day we practice.
Greg, you've been pretty disruptive in that third down package from the two defensive line. How do you feel comfortable in there?
Yeah, I feel
you in there in those situations?
Yeah, I feel comfortable in there. I feel like it's not too different from defensive end. You just gotta use your hands, come off the ball, and just play with a lot of intensity and high effort.
You guys had some trouble getting off the field in some of those third down situations in the first half. Just what do you feel like was kind of going wrong on some of those? Do you feel like you guys were getting enough pressure consistently?
Yeah, I feel like we're doing pretty good. I feel like a lot of them were actually like penalties, like little stuff after the play, like things that we could avoid and just get better on, correct, and not make those mistakes anymore.
Greg, obviously, the defensive line didn't get as many sacks as maybe the pressure kind of seemed like it should.
Yeah.
It was, what do you think was the issue there? Was it just kind of their quarterback kind of evading the pressure, or you guys just not being able to finish?
I feel like we were doing good. We were disruptive. We were getting back there. He was getting rid of the ball pretty quick. He was getting pretty banged up. So he was trying not to get hit. At like when the game started going, like through the third and fourth quarter, he was like pretty. Yeah, we were getting out in the whole game. So I think he was trying to get rid of the ball pretty fast, like towards the end.
You and then obviously Jonathan Garvin also had a great game. What have you seen? What makes Garvin so special?
He just comes. To me, I feel like the best thing about him is his consistency. He comes to practice every single day. He wins his reps. He comes to work every single game, every single practice, every single lift. Like he's somebody you just look up to and be like, man, I want to be like him. I want to like he's like a real role model for me, definitely.
You mentioned penalties. Obviously, the goal line stand there at the end. Just what was your reaction to all that?
I feel like when you're playing in the game, you can't really react too much. Just like penalties like that, you gotta just be like, all right, like if they get like a pass interference or whatever, it's first down again. You just gotta play that first down and focus on winning that one down, and not be like, man, we did this, we did that, the other. But you gotta just have a short memory and just move on.
Anything else for Greg? Great. Thank you, Greg.
Appreciate it, y'all.
I think we got Jerry coming up, the last one.
Yeah, I think that's 18 yards.
What do you also mean?
Virginia Tech last year. Rivalry games. Yes.
If you're watching, man, hit the like button, share it for us. Put the link in your Hurricane groups. I know somebody want to watch. Did North Carolina lose to Appalachian today?
Yeah. I got the mix up with Hampton Memphis.
Appalachian State beat North Carolina today.
Did they get back last night? 'Cause they were in Canada for a couple of nights. They were back Thursday. They came back Saturday. But you know, they like, you know. Oh, yeah.
Baseball, you know, throwing. Oh, buddy. It was fucking sucky.
Like die.
Here comes our quarterback.
All right, guys, last but not least, we'll go to questions for Jared Williams.
Jared, you took obviously a few big hits there, so it took you a little time to get up. Physically, how do you feel?
Yeah, I just gotta get an ice tub, but, you know, this off week will be good, kinda get my body back right, but I feel good, I'll be all right.
Shoulder at all when you hit there, or I mean, it looked like you were kind of favoring that a little bit.
Yeah, just getting it loose, it's a little step, but no, I'm good.
Two really good drives for you guys at the start of the game and start of the second half, and then other than that, just what do you feel like kind of worked well on those drives that maybe you guys didn't carry over into some of your other possessions?
I feel like just getting the ball in my hands quick, just working those quick routes, just taking what they were giving us. I felt like when we started doing that, it was really good. We were executing, but, I feel like we left a lot of plays out there. We're definitely not complacent. We're happy with the win, but we know we gotta get better.
Those quick routes, were those maybe there sometimes and you weren't hitting them, or did they do something to kind of start taking those away on some of those other drives?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like sometimes too, I gotta use my legs a little bit more. When stuff's not there, I gotta kind of escape the pocket, and use my legs a little bit more to help out the offense. So.
Jaren, this is your last non-conference game before heading into conference play. What are some things that you're gonna focus on specifically?
Really just staying in Coach Enos' hip pocket. Everything he tells me, we prepared for this game, and everything that he said they were going to do, they did. So really just staying close to him and taking every coaching point I can, and just trying to be prepared for what he takes.
Jaren, obviously, a couple throws there kind of got away from you, almost threw a couple interceptions there. What do you think the issue was on those?
I feel like a couple times I got greedy, a little bit, just trying to make something out of nothing. And you know, when that happens, you know, I gotta be able to get to my check down or throw it away or, you know, even make plays on my feet, which I feel like I could have did a couple times. But, yeah, you know, I'm just ready to go back and just watch the film and kind of see everything. Because you think it's something, but then you watch the film and then you kind of see everything else from a different perspective. So, just ready to go see the film.
Manny Diaz said that the Wednesday practice was really lacking, and then that it showed tonight. What happened in that practice that led to his performance?
Yeah, you know, Wednesday wasn't our best practice as a team, but you know, you have days like that, but you try not to have days like that. When you do have days like that, you know, that's when the leaders, you know, such as myself and you know, the other guys on the team that are in a position to uplift the team, and you know, we got to do a better job of, you know, getting everybody, you know, on the same page and you know, bringing everybody up.
From what you could see, why was it so difficult to run the ball against that team?
You know, I give a lot of credit to Central Michigan. You know, they prepared really well. Their defense came to play. They had an edge on their shoulder, and you know, they played really hard. You know, they came with everything they got. So, you know, I give a lot of credit to them. You know, they played a really good game. But yeah, we struggled a little bit with the running game. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what was happening. You know, 'cause I gotta go back and watch the film and kind of see it. But you know, I'm sure we're gonna get it fixed. We're gonna watch it and we're gonna get it fixed.
Jaron, I know you guys obviously won, but is anybody upset with the way you guys performed tonight? I mean, is there like anybody upset and angry about, hey, we
I mean, I don't think anybody's upset or angry, but a win's a win. You know, but the thing is, we're not complacent. You know, we're not gonna get complacent. We understand that we gotta get better. And we understand that we gotta learn from this win. So really just take everything from this game that we can learn and try to apply it to this week coming up and get better from it. So you know, we're happy we won. You know, win's a win at the end of the day. But you know, we gotta keep getting better.
During the offense seems to move, I guess, a little bit better when the tight ends are involved. Is that something that you guys feel like you need to do more of? Just hitting Brevin. I know he had a good game from Mallory. They kind of got into it early, a little bit less. Like as it was out, do you feel like you need to get the ball to them a little bit more often? Just offense in general, not just you.
I feel like Brevin will. They're very versatile. You know, they can block really well and they can get out and create you know, matchups that we like, you know, versus linebackers just because of their speed and how they're able to create separation. So you know, getting them the ball a little bit more probably, you know, wouldn't hurt at all actually. But you know, they help out a lot really. So whatever it's called, we're gonna go out there and execute it. So you know, we trust in what Coach Enos is calling. So you know, whatever he calls, we gotta just execute it. That's all I'm saying.
Alrighty, thank you, Jaron.
So yeah, that's it. We're about to sign off. Tough loss. Football good. Y'all stay locked in. Go check the video I just uploaded. Let us know what y'all thought about the game in the comment section below.